And there's a couple of defensive spots that OG could hide in that you could very easily try and get an arrow or a hook on and see if someone's hiding out. As Void is their last bet, I'm wondering if they're going to go for a hero that could have some sort of setup for an arrow or a hook, because...
There's not many heroes though.
Yeah.
Assuming the Venge and Pudge are the supports they would need. And offlane Weaver, I'm not sure about offlane Weaver or safe lane Weaver right now. If you want setup, it's more likely an offlane hero. But I'm not like a big fan of a safe lane Weaver. I think if you pick Weaver, you do it like on a support or offlane, or you do a tri lane on the enemy. You try to make the most of the hero in the early stage.
I think that hero has, I think he has very specific peaks, right? And
Yeah.
the rest are all valleys.
Very timing orientated.
So it's hard to run him as a reliable safe lane carry, because it's like, okay, you have like this window to operate.
Do something now.
You know, you gotta win the game in that that play, and I think that's really hard to do. So, especially in this patch, I think people like to be able to see a little bit more longevity to their strategies. They want to be able to see that if it goes 45 minutes, 55 minutes, we can still play.
And it looks like you're going to get that Ursa after all.
Off lane Weaver, yep, and safe lane Ursa. Pretty good lane to deal with the Axe early. He might have to Iron Talon jungle and just not go to the lane.
But that's not a problem, right? Axe is one of the faster Iron Talon junglers out there.
Him and Dux here are both the fastest Iron Talon junglers.
Oh, that means you give a free lane to the Ursa.
And Benno.
Yeah.
And I would say they don't have the most disruptive supports to
push strat incoming.
And that is a no-till hero to its core.
Well, if Terrorblade gets away with the laning phase, he's going to be very, very good here.
Okay, Terrorblade, the final. Was that just a little bit of that curve we were looking for? That little bit of something special?
Yeah, Terrorblade is also a risky pick though, because if the laning phase fails for that hero, the hero is like badly crippled if he doesn't have a good laning phase.
Fortunately, there is unlikely to be a very strong aggro presence from MVP because they have a Warlock. So
sure.
I think their lane should go pretty well. And then if Terrorblade gets rolling right, he's just going to stomp all over these team fights. Ursa's going to have a hard time connecting.
Well, the scene and the stage is set. Could this be the final game of Dota played today here in the Wang Theatre? We'll find out with your casters. It's David and David. David, it's the double Ds. Enjoy this one.
Is he hitting on me, or is that just me?
He's hitting on me, LD. Don't flatter yourself. Come on.
All right. Well, hey, I'm the voluptuous one, but we've got a game on our hands. MVP taking OG. Elimination potentially for MVP. If they can win this game, they go to a deciding game 3. Godz ran into Fly and Mad walking backstage, and didn't overhear the whole conversation. But basically, the gist of it was, what are they going to do now? Because clearly what they've been doing isn't working. We have that figured out. They've got to throw us a curveball. We've talked about it. The analysts have talked about it. And do you think this is the curveball? And how do you feel it's going to work?
Yeah, it's not like a crazy strategy. Obviously, you can change your picks, but you can't change your players, your play style as well. That goes with those players. A player like Kyo is going to want to play some of those more flashy heroes. It is going to be something a bit different because Kyo's handling the Weaver, so it's going to be a Weaver mid with Mirana offlane. And I was thinking, when the Mirana got picked, it's like a mid, but it's a mid that doesn't suit Kyo, whereas a Weaver is a hero that can run in, get onto key targets like an Invoker or Support Warlock and just find those kills. So it's a more Kyo-esque hero, similar to like how a PA functions. And I think that definitely suits him a bit better. But as far as the overall draft goes, I think MVP are going to have to land those hooks, land those arrows if they are to come on top of this game.
And it is the nature of MVP and the way they draft. They tend to pick lineups that have a much higher threshold for execution required to be able to take the game. Whereas OG, solid team fight once they get, you imagine, the Warlock ultimate, some points in Fatal Bonds, Invoker gets his items, the Axe has a blink. It's very easy for them to pull off team fights in comparison. So, well, as often is the case, MVP going to have to go for an outskill, and this could be how they get the ball rolling.
This will be a good game because they have the better block as well. So that means Invoker will be pushed further forward. He either has to not go for last hits or he's going to die.
They're going top, though. They're going to mix it up here, going for the squishy Terrorblade.
Onan's expecting it mid because he's positioned so far back right now.
And OG going for that offensive tri-lane start again. I think some of these heroes may have been scouted by MVP or perhaps just anticipating the same setup. It'll be Febby in the trees, no-tail. A bit closer to the wave. Definitely doesn't seem like he knows this is coming. It's not the easiest initiation, though. The magic missile range, not the best, but he's getting dangerously close. They can sweep out from the trees. They should have the angle. He gets body blocked just for a moment by his own creep, betrayed. The traitor creeps, but is it going to be enough? Just a rotten chase to try and get the kill. It will barely be so, but Jarek's TPing in. We'll find the trade. So first blood for MVP. They get on the board. It does cost them a smoke, but they force a TP, and that's going to relieve some pressure here on Velo bottom.
It's totally worth it too, because you take a look at mid lane, and Honor hadn't got a point of experience until those heroes finally showed on the map, and QO...
Speaking of which...
Yeah, going aggressive.
Bully tactics here.
Not quite level 3. If he had the swarm there, maybe he'd be able to go for a kill. But yeah, Honor was just hugging his tower, missing a lot of the first creep wave of experience and farm just because those two heroes are missing on the map. And it's such a common play to go for that level 1 smoke mid. They were going for top lane, which completely caught OG off guard. I like the decision from N0tail to go for the illusion level 1, trying to use that to block those arrows coming in, but they didn't need the arrows, just the magic missile plus rot to get the kill.
Yeah, Dubu waiting for a potential flank, but you can see Ana playing this very defensively, just hugging the high ground. Very unlikely to be killed off unless the Pudge can find a hook. Now, I believe he was scouted going towards the bottom rune earlier. That'd not sure he has been seen specifically in this location, but they know he's somewhere towards that bottom side of the map, barring a smoke. And as a result, Ana playing extremely defensively. So far, though, the lane's looking decent here. There will be some pressure on Ana. Going to charge him with the Sakuchi. Doesn't have a point in Wex yet, and QO's just going to go for it. Jarek's joining the fray, though, looking for the turnaround. Sunstrike coming in hot, and it won't be enough. The fairy fire there. QO's able to lift the rolling boulder to the right. Jarek's whiffing a bit. MVP, they'll find a second.
Well, that's a nice kill to get for MVP. Does mean QO's a bit low on HP here, but he's got Tenko so he can get pulled from the Venge as well. And the roll-in's going to miss, and QO for the punish. He does have to worry about the boulder smash with that arcane rune. The Earth Spirit of Jarek's has very high uptime.
And no stun on Dubu, was just a wee bit short as far as mana goes, but he will have it now if he chooses to stick around. And in fact, another smoke, so you can clearly see the game plan for MVP, as you would expect with this draft. They are going to be constantly shifting positions on their supports, looking for pickoffs. Ana, again, starting to take some heavy pressure in the mid lane. It's going to require Jarek's as well as Fly to come in and try to assist him. This is the kind of start you want to slow an Invoker down, but there's the boulder smash, false Sunstrike, not enough damage. In fact, Dubu there with the turnaround, the cold snap. Oh, he's able to fade just in time. Sakuchi to the rescue, and Ana will be thwarted once again.
Was very, very
Meanwhile,
close.
I'm going to take some punishing here, but there is a Berserker's call, so Velo doesn't want to push it.
6 stacks of Fury swipes on him, so Espo has to be very careful here. Any kind of hook or Earthshock could be the death of him. He really wants to reset that, and it looks like he'll get the ability, he'll get to.
Jarek's going for the suicide now, but already the MVP off to a decent start. That said, though, the side lanes are farming well for OG Godz. S4 basically free farm as there's a hook bottom. Will catch out Fly. Will they have to follow up? He's got the Earthshock. He instead turns back onto S4. Femi trying to kill Fly off. They're going for the twofer, and they might just get it, but then Jarek arrives. Boulder Smash comes through. Will connect on Femi. Still giving chase. S4, 5 stacks, but he's salving up. He's juking through the trees. He winds his way around. He starts to get out, but Dubu there to cut him off at the pass. At least he hopes so. It will be enough, but Fly able to limp away. So they get the core. All the while, N0tail is just freely farming up in this top lane, and we're starting to really struggle in what's become a 1v1.
Yeah, it's not going to be a lane that Mirana can do great in that 1v1. When Metamorph is up, you have to be pretty scared and for it. Just need to respect N0tail's pressure coming in. But the big thing is you want to try win those other 2 lanes. Pressure the Invoker at mid, find the kills at bottom. MVP, you're okay exchanging that for the free farm of Terrible 8. And so far they've done pretty decent, only 12 CS on Honor's Invoker, and QO's looking to pose a big threat on him in this mid lane.
Jarek's just camping out mid, but he was scouted for a moment there.
So I think Jarek's like not really in his element as far as how he has to play the Earth Spirit. He's forced to play defensive and kind of predict where MVP are going to get aggressive. Normally he wants to be the one ganking, setting things up, but he has to kind of respond to MVP because of the nature of MVP's draft and how aggressive they want to be.
And keeping an eye on OG, they have already started stacking Ancients, and this is something that we have seen a lot from teams over the last 4 to 5 months, where when they run the Axe, it's often the early Vanguard. They will try to, whether it's a Shadow Demon disrupting the Axe or just someone to heal him in the form of the Warlock, they try to clear Ancients early and get that farm advantage, and specifically for OG, it's been a big component of their play style. Yep. EG, probably the other team that really likes to try to play the economy game.
Dubu swoops in. He did have his smoke pop, but Axe still has not seen the Venge in the river.
Creeping in. It is nighttime. 6-minute rune about to spawn. It's unlikely to be the one that goes for it. It's not the longest range initiation unless they hit the hook. And Febby, he's going to worm his way into the trees. Does have a tango here if he wants to find a better position. He's his way in a bit deeper. S4 is going to show himself for a moment, threatening for a call under tower. The Fly will snag the bounty. And
Could have gone for Fly at the rune, but they still may. Jerax is here too.
they're going to find Jerax holding onto the hook for now. They need the combo. He gets pushed onto the high ground. Febby wants to bring him up there with him, but isn't able to do so. S4 meanwhile being forced back by an angry bear. Dubu will have, actually won't have a stun. He's about 20 mana short. While simultaneously, No-Tail in the top lane, getting run down by QO. Early rotation from the Weaver. Big kill for MVP. And they're not done just yet in the bottom lane as they continue to pursue Jerax. Febby does have the hook, just barely the mana available. Going for the TP out. Come back here, says Febby. Actually hooks him past his own body. And Jerax just starts to limp the other way. There's still no vent stun. Looks like with the Wave of Terror usage, won't have the mana for some time. They continue to close in, but he's going to have a rolling boulder out relatively soon. He wants to go for it. Juking down to the low ground. See you later, he says. And now, time for the Roach Suicide. So after all that, meanwhile mid, QO continue to duke it out with Ana. This tempo is the kind of tempo that MVP generally wants, Godz. Very aggressive, constant lane shifting, and not allowing OG to play the farm game.
Yeah, this is perfect for them. Perfect for QO to be on a hero that can play as aggressive as he is. The two supports are just kind of freely moving around as a two-man unit, having some success here and there. Not quite getting as many kills as they perhaps hoped for because of how annoying Jerax is being. And really hats off to Jerax. He's kind of salvaged this early game for OG. He's basically been buying time for his carries to get all the farm they're getting because he's keeping those supports busy and not even dying. Both of his deaths, the suicide. So MVP haven't found as many kills as perhaps they were hoping for with the supports. It's been more QO rotating around, finding some action. Velo on the Ursa getting one, so we're going to see if the Pudge can truly come online and start landing some of those hooks soon. So he is going to go for another smoke gank here at top lane. It looks like him and Dubu. These two-man smokes have been the name of the game. This is the third two-man smoke from this support duo.
No TP on Fly. There is one on Jerax, but he's busy dealing with an angry bear in the scan. Will be on the mark, so they know he's likely in the area, still under cover of smoke. They move in. Febby was revealed. He lobs out the hook, and with that, the jig is up. They do get the lane ward down. They might be able to intercept Jerax. Has a haste rune though, so it will be a very tough kill as Febby, dropping his tranquil boots, is going to be farming up the camp. Don't want to see those getting sniped, but should be okay.
They know No-Tail has no TP. It looks like they want to go for Jerax on the Earth Spirit, but that's as we've seen already, a very tough kill to get.
Oh, even S4 rotating in 4 up. They know he already used his leap. They're going to try to pursue. Has the phase boost. The hook is there. Pulling Jerax away, then the stun. Securing the kill, but turnaround coming in from OG. They will get the Sunstrike kill with the help of Ana in the mid lane. And speaking of Ana, he's busy dealing with QO, who's diving him under the tower. He will barely survive as they continue to ring around the tree line, trying to bring down the cat lady. Can't quite do it. Ana so low, and here comes Dubu for the cutoff. He's going to have a wave of terror momentarily, but Ana's healing up. He probably needs an auto attack as well. Not quite enough damage. Won't be able to get the kill, but the pressure does mount a bit on the Invoker. Back to the base for him as S4, his turn to try and match the tempo of MVP. Gets up the call. Sunstrike coming in. It's a lot of damage at this point. And there's the chop up with your head, says Mr. Gustav. They will get the kill.
They even used the Moonlight Shadow here, but Pudge is trying to take that to set up on this mid lane, but again, it's the Earth Spirit Jerax, proving time and time again how difficult he can be to bring down. And
I mean, OG are just doing such a good job at farming during this time, Godz, that even though MVP, it seems like they're forcing OG to play to their tempo, rag up the kills. They're the ones pushing down a tier 1 bottom. No-Tail, top of the CS charts. He will grab the tower now. They're barely trailing, in fact, about to be ahead by a significant margin when it comes to net worth, and the same for Experience. So I have to pose you the question, is MVP doing enough?
currently no, but they're going to keep playing this tempo. They're going to look for Velo perhaps to get that fast blink and keep on going. They're going to use their fourth and what? I want to say their fourth smoke here.
Febby, he did pop down to the low ground, and in doing so, got pinged out.
Yep.
Jerax keeping his eyes on the minimap, and now the scan to confirm what they likely already knew.
S4 wants his blink, but he's not going to die for it. He backs off. He's not even going to farm that jungle. And No-Tail perhaps a bit further forward, but
Sends the illusions marching through the woods. One does get slightly blocked for a moment, and even the ping now from S4. So OG completely sniffing out MVP's movement. And with that, they start to run pretty low on smokes here. None in the restock for 10 minutes for MVP, and they're even going to end up ganking an illusion.
They use 4 smokes in 10 minutes. I haven't seen that in a long time. Normally you use 1 smoke in the first 10 minutes and then 2 to 3 smokes in the mid game. They have 0 smokes for the mid game.
And in spite of that, Ana already has his Midas. He wants to use it, but they're going to look for the punish here. The double Starbow connects. Sunstrike up the mark. Durex going away. And Febby wanted to reel him back in with the hook mid-roll, but can't quite find the range.
The smokes haven't been super successful, but what has been successful for MVP is the game plan of just ganking and fighting. It's not been overwhelmingly successful. Like, they're not picking up a huge amount of kills. They are still like a tiny bit behind because of the Terrorblade taking towers, but they have put themselves in position to keep going for these fights and kills by having a strong enough early game.
With that, there was also a nice pick-off on the bottom lane. His fly is so close to his ultimate. Desperately trying to secure it. Does get punished.
His Full's got Blink now, so we'll see if he can set a defense up in this middle lane. Perhaps something that will catch OG by surprise, and perhaps let's say this is now the time for them to smoke. They've got lots left. They've got one they're using now. They've still got another one on fly that's waiting to be used, so
oh god,
there's
this
no shortage
combo
there.
Gods. Level 3 Fatal Pudge with the rock and the blink call.
Baby. He's not going to get going on.
Dubu, he's going to tank the gank. Probably their ideal target, but there will be 3 golden experience going the way of OG as they look now to transition into a tower push. And maybe a QO pickoff. He's going to lay out the swarm. Already the glyph committed, but here against the Terrorblade. This hero pushes extremely hard and very fast. Velo sneaking in, undercover Moonlight Shadow. They're going to drop the rock to try and take this fight, bringing down Bevy. And now looking for the ball of Starstorm. No tail shatters too, and Velo still trying to lock onto a target. He will settle on S4, running him down with the clap. He does have an overpower and will be able to kill him off as well, so make it a 2 for 3. It's about to be a 2 for 4. A big fight. MVP nailing OG down. Even the tower defended, and that was with the rock. What a great defense.
Yeah, very important. Velo's instantly into the Roshan, but he doesn't waste time. He's got his Mask of Madness coming on the courier.
Uh-oh. Jerax, he runs in and he pushes him up and away.
Okay. Tried to probably get him on the hill, but didn't achieve that. And he may just go right back in. Mask of Madness,
like,
as I said.
Come push me out again, bro.
Yeah.
There's no rock right now. They don't have Magnetize yet, as I say that. Jerks just gets level 6.
Oh, triple TP. They also need to respect the Sunstrike.
And he's just used the Mask of Madness. Gets bashed immediately. Sunstrike. Oh, Velo. A timely enrage, recognizing his demise could be imminent. And I think God's a good thing he backed off there. As had he continued on the Roche, he probably dies and gives it away to OG.
Leaves Roche nice and healthy, so something OG can't go for. Having got Metamorph and not likely to work out for them.
So take another look at this very helter-skelter fight, which really was defined by a kind of underwhelming Warlock ultimate from OG. Didn't find that big AoE combo they were looking for, and then Ursa able to just clean up afterwards.
Yeah, the Weaver got bursted. They focused too much perhaps on Cure here because Velo just went in with the Enrage, taking no damage whatsoever, and Fly also couldn't really find the best fatal bonds onto multiple heroes, so worked really well for Velo. When he gets ignored in the fight, he does more damage than the Weaver there, so worked out just how MVP wanted. They want the fights to come to them. That almost played into their hands with OG going for that aggressive smoke maneuver.
And if you have that big ultimate and you don't hit the fatal bonds, you don't really combine the Warlock rock with the call, then all of a sudden MVP's draft is perfect for those kinds of chaotic fights. Very low cooldowns, lots of single target, good individual burst, and for OG, they're gonna scout out Dubu here. On a little journey uphill, the hook does come in for the turnaround. Febby getting the dismember with the rod. Don't think he has quite enough damage yet as Jerax rolls, but it's a very short range roll. Velo coming in for the cleanup, and now Forever on the chase as well. Brings Fly low, forcing him back and away, and they may contest these agents under cover of Moonlight Shadow. To pursuit, the Ags is coming soon for 4F Gods. This could be huge for MVP.
Yeah, he's got most of the pieces now. I saw him pick up the Blade of Lacry first, like, is he still going for the Agsby? And now he's got the point booster.
Surely you have to get the Ags.
That's what I was thinking, but it's just very rare to see the Blade first, but of course the damage not too bad. MVP's Velo is the Rose Pit, the Axe will not land, and now it's Four's in trouble.
S4 known for his big plays around the Rose Pit, not able to find one here. Bevy though will be burst, good Sunstrike from Ana, but now on the run, he's gonna be controlled for the time being. Arrow comes through. Velo though, they'd love to pop this Aegis. Can they do it? Chases in, from No Tail. Can't quite finish him off. Still they have the Fatal Bonds on him. Ana sticking around. Aegis going to be popped in now. Ana almost dead into the pit. One more auto attack will bring him down, but he's not going to drop. OG will now scatter, look for the retreat. Jerax rolling up and away over the hill. And will live to fight another day. So MVP in the end, Sunstrike. Connect on Velo, not enough for a kill, but they do lose their Aegis as quick as they grabbed it, but they get some extra gold to go along with it.
Yeah, doing all of this before the Ursa even completes his Blink Dagger. I mean, he's going to have that with the Phase and Mask of Madness soon, and that's where MVP get even scarier in these constant fights and engagements that we're seeing. So MVP will hit this peak where they get the Ags on the Mirana, the Blink on Ursa. Weaver's just looking to get as much stats and to tank up as much as possible. Wouldn't be surprised to see Cure go into some kind of like Diffusal or Manta just so we can purge off the Earth Spirit Silence, but don't want to keep on fighting even with the Aegis getting immediately taken away.
And I want you to expand on that a bit, Godz. So you look at OG, they have Terrorblade, they have a Quas Exort Invoker who went for a Midas. We heard briefly from the panel they thought if the Terrorblade gets away with a decent laning stage, it's going to be very tough to deal with. So I'll ask you, how do you see these teams matching up if MVP's not able to just completely run them over at this stage? Can MVP take it later, or are they just going to be in OG's doghouse at that point?
They can do it right. Mirana's very good at dealing with those illusions. Nice hook to bail out Dubu. I say bail him out. Looks like Dubu's going to walk back. He's kind of screwed anyways.
And Chop, and now S4 getting the move speed. Still has a call available.
But, I mean, ultra late game, not going to look great. But as far as the Terrorblade having 1 or 2 big items, you're doing fine because Mirana Ags will easily deal with TB illusions. You've got good initiation coming out from the Pudge as well as potentially Mirana Arrow, and the Ursa himself who can just go charging in. So I feel much better about MVP's position this game than last. There's no like problem here as they can't deal with. It's just going to be whether or not OG can kind of survive the onslaught and whether they can survive the downtime of their ultimates. There's 2 big ones, the Warlock Chaotic Offering and the Terrorblade with his Metamorph, I guess, if you're not really an ultimate, but effectively the hero's ultimate. If you don't have those 2 spells, you have to be very careful at fighting.
S4 setting up top, wants to turn this gank on Ana around. Unfortunately, QO's a bit too quick, and he's able to scurry away. Brings the Invoker down solo and lives to tell the tale. Space created for his teammate.
Yeah, there was
we'll see 4F grabbing the Aghanims down the Mirana.
Short cooldown on the Invoke. He was like 2 seconds short before he could get the Ghost Walk. He actually invoked it right before he died, but the attack of Cure was already midair.
And second time that Midas has been off cooldown when he's dead. Not ideal for an Invoker who wants to be pulling ahead.
Weaver, as mentioned, kind of very similar hero to the PA, and that's how Cure is playing it. Bottom lane, they've gone in with the Ursa.
Early rock drop, and now Velo just trying to TP away. That's not going to happen, though, as S4's on the case. No more Aegis for this bear. And down he will go. A slash of the Terrorblades. Bring him down, and they're going to find Bevy as well here with the roll from Jerax. He tries to turn this. Sunstrike, no chance of that. Again, it's the Axe finishing off a low HP hero.
Yeah, that was way too aggressive coming out from Velo's Ursa, but it's one of those things where you're kind of feeling it. You've had a really good start. He was 5-0 before that, so he was on a big kill streak, which makes the death hurt him even that much more. But as it stands, MVP just kind of need to keep their cool. They're in a position where they can go well and scale into the mid game. Cure's got 2.5k gold. 4's got the Axe that we talked about him really needing, and now they've got cooldown on the Wall of Rock. So now if they want to look to fight, it's only the Metamorphosis they have to worry about.
Oh, as for they could go for an arrow play here. He was scouted by a freshly planted ward, but
that was 2 towers for Cure. He just suddenly racks up a huge amount of gold off of that. So all in all, the trades we just kind of saw, say, slightly favoring MVP.
You know, Godz, I hate to harp on this, but I have to bring it up again. 2 games in a row now where Dubu really struggles in the level progression. He's 5 at 19 minutes. Still no swap.
Yeah, he's having a bad series. And some of his deaths have not been like deaths. It's like let's walk at the enemy ancients by myself to try to put down the ward or scout. This is, I don't know, Dubu's just not feeling it in this series. He's just not really reading the game very well. And as that support role, you've kind of got to be able to read your opponent's movements. And so far, it's not really happening. Dubu, yeah, 5 of his team's 12 deaths and not finding any experience whatsoever.
There's been a bit of a struggle for him. So we'll see Jerax chilling in the bottom lane. Now going to TP back. But he TPs to the tier 2 bottom, suggesting, oh gee,
It's a tough
Thinking
buy.
about a tower defense, but they do not have the chaotic offering.
Yeah, that's the big one, and they can just kind of chip at the tower with the Mirana and Weaver if they want. Ideally, you keep the Ursa kind of further back or hidden, and yeah, if you're OG, you're thinking, let's wait for the Rock to fight, let's actually split push here. Dotel's also got no mana on his Terrorblade, so there's absolutely no way to fight around him. He brings himself some mana, a Mango in fact, so gets a bit more team fight ready, but tower's already down, and MVP will back off to push out their lanes.
So going back to something you brought up, I think it's really important to note here, MVP, much better catch if OG try to play that split push game. They have Moonlight Shadow and Initiated. 4F moving on to Fly. There's a Rolling Boulder back. Still that Mirana being held in position. Sunstrike and a chop, they'll get the kill. Fly the trade so far. A 1-for-1, but losing your very farm carry Mirana. Not ideal as Jerax is pursued a bit by QO. All the while, they are split pushing though. Velo threatening to move in on Ana.
I mean, that play there sums up MVP a bit.
And they're not done just yet. For S4 now. He wants the turnaround. He's going to try to isolate Dubu. Poor unfortunate soul that he is in the trees, and another free offering of gold the way of OG. It's starting to feel like Venge is a big range creep at this point.
Yeah, it starts with Mirana leaping in. She thought she had landed the arrow, I want to say, because that was kind of what Forever was leaping in as if he'd hit the arrow and was about to get a double Starstorm off to solo kill the Warlock, but the arrow had been sidestepped and then suddenly he leapt into multiple heroes. That was... I mean, it's one of those things where MVP, this aggression will win them games, but sometimes it will also lose them games. Normally it's in the hands of Kuro. That was normally the more stable player for it, but he's playing that carry role in some ways with the farm he's got on Mirana. And without a Blink Dagger, he did not have a way in as well as out.
So what is the next big timing here for MVP, Godz? Is there a certain objective you'd like to see them go for, an item they're waiting on?
No real items, it's more just better initiations, perhaps using now. They've now finally got another smoke they can play around. They want to keep going for pickoffs, and I guess there is the Mirana Blink Dagger, which is going to allow Forever to farm a lot faster. They can then use Blink to initiate and still have the leap to escape, but all in all, MVP just need to find the pickoffs that don't lead into OG turning those fights around. Like bottom lane, not the kind of play you want to be making. You need to kind of read what's going on a bit differently around the map.
Well, OG gonna smoke and try to cover the bait that is No-Tail's Terrorblade. QO, the first man in, is going to reveal that smoke. Does get caught by a blade. Blade now call. Beautiful initiation. Press for chop number one. A success. And now looking for the second is Velo. Eats the Magnetize from Jerax. Now it's to back away. They're cold snapping him. Already committing his ultimate with the Mask of Madness. He jumps pretty quickly. Can they finish him off? The Ursa's down. They find 3, make it 4 heroes. Biting the dust. All of it scouted by QO, but unable to get out before OG closed in. And by the way, they did that without the chaotic offering.
And the timings come really for OG at this point. When they've got Rock and Metamorphosis, they are bloody strong and hard to deal with. No-Tail in the front lines with the Metamorphosis is just king of the team fight with his actual damage output. And they don't even need a Rock. When MVP's kind of committing that hard on them, if they don't get more done with the Ursa Enrage, they're going to be in trouble.
A really nice catch there by S4. You can see actually a slight glimpse of QO's Weaver before he took behind the trees. So able to isolate him, bring him down, and from there it's just kind of a route with the additional move speed that the team garners from Culling Blade, making it very easy to find those follow-up kills.
See some of the perhaps despair on QO's face there. He knows things are not going too well for him. That's a couple, both his recent deaths where he's gotten bursted down while either silenced or cold, and has been able to do as much in the team fights. He's been great as far as getting pickoffs and finding kills when he's gone rotating around the map, but anytime he's tried to go with his team, take a kind of head-on fight, he's been one of the targets that OG are just locking down and preventing from having an impact on the fight. And I think MVP want to bring more numbers. They didn't have the Mirana last time. This time they're going as 5. They're smoked up. They know Roche has respawned, and they may actually use this to take an Aegis if they so choose, but ideally they want to get killed.
Dire scan though, scouts it all out. MVP not going to be getting an easy jump on OG. They're still thinking about a hook here for Febby. Sam, QO. Taking away, only an illusion though, and now it's OG's turn to move. They have to magnetize.
Move fast.
Jerax just got mana back at base. They've got the full combination available. Roche is already dead. Oh no, the bash. At the worst possible time, Velo will snag that Aegis, but slows him down, and they are going to be able to force Fly back and away. Holds onto the chaotic offering. Arrow did connect in the meanwhile on S4 is the axe. Thinking about a retreat, but not sure he can run away from this Mirana. Velo's there. They're going to gang up on him. He almost gets a double kill with that blade mail damage, but Febby combining with the team will find the kill. So they grab an Aegis, they get a kill, and they don't lose anything.
Starting to feel kind of similar to last game where MVP are going to keep looking to 5-man a bit. OG can actually go split push as Honor's now already at the top lane. This time around MVP do have catch, and this time around OG actually have team fight to fight into the 5v5.
He's sticking around Febby, baiting nicely. Here's Ana charges in. Oh, hey buddy, how you doing? Arrow completely whipped there by 4F. We'll be able to chase him back though. And the hunt is on. Will there be any sort of support from Notel? No, he's got TP away. Ana dropping that zoning ice wall, but another blink forward, and with the double start ball, 4F will find the kill. He had Dutch. So Ana knew there was no way he was getting out there. Well, meanwhile in the middle lane, Velo and Kuo have gone in deep, perhaps a bit too deep. They will find the axe kill earlier, but Velo turns it. He brings down Jack, puts the slam down Notel as well. Notel currently holding the Sunder, can look to re-engage here, and he's going to commit the Metamorph as they push Velo back it away. S4 trying to move onto him, gets off the blade belt, almost killing off the Ursa. The Bears on the run. No honey for you, sir, they say, and Febby 2 will fall. OG salvaging that, and they bring down 2 of the 3 cores.
Including the breaking the Aegis too, so that really puts them up in a great position now. Have committed the Metamorphosis as well as the Chaotic Offering, so they're going to have a couple minutes of downtime, and if you're MVP, you're thinking, yeah, that fight went bad, but we've got to keep going at it. We can't just sit back and let them take it to the late game with this Terrorblade, who's going to become a bigger problem. Invoker, same thing, where it's a hero that's just going to scale better. The longer the game goes, the more items he gets. They need to go and fight and try and take the game OG as soon as possible.
The bottom lane is another pick for S4. He'll find it too, and it's on for Ev. This axe has been massive for OG, 10, 4, and 6. He tops the kill charts and has been creating a lot of space for the team. Is behind him, Notel and Ana quietly accruing their farm. You can see Notel just now completing the Eye of Scotty. Big item for him. You mentioned the Ags on Ana, and there's still plenty of room for these cores to grow.
With the Skadi, Notel kind of is starting to reach that point where you can't burst him down in a fight. He's always going to be able to tank through any damage you throw at him, and then he can turn around, kite the Ursa pretty well with the Skadi. He's got very high armor, high HP. The damage just isn't there to kill him. Unless you hit like a 5-second arrow with the Ursa hitting him as well as the Axe Starstorm, and even then you're going to be fighting likely into the Chaotic Offering of the Warlock.
S4 just barely clipping him on the boundary of that Berserker's Call.
I love how you can see him, like, he just says, like, right before he's blinking, you can see him say something quickly on the mic, and I'm sure he's saying, Sunstrike, get ready. Like, that's him talking to Honor there, like, making sure that the Sunstrike's coming, and OG get themselves a straightforward pick-off, and setting themselves up to have a very good late game here, and all they need to do is get to that late game point with farm across the board on their cores, and that's exactly what they're doing. Ursa not a hero known for his ability to scale the longer the game goes on, and we're kind of starting to reach that point where this Ursa